Hello, my name is Leigh, Grigg. Welcome back from lunch. This is a presentation about a new online resource tool available at all of GrayBruce. Now, Dr. Blair Feltmate was worried about depressing you earlier this morning in the climate change conference, but I'm here to inspire you and challenge you in a very quick presentation about collaboration and some next steps on how to actually act on climate locally in GrayBruce. GrayBruce Sustainability Network has been around for 14 years. We're actually also premiering a series of sustainable living workshops beginning November 4th. It's worth checking out. You can get the links on our Facebook page or find it on Eventbrite. But today we'll be talking about an initiative we started in the spring, and my name is Leigh Grigg. It'll take about 17 minutes to present. So I'm a very practical and efficient presenter. And if there aren't very many questions after, I encourage you all to check out Dr. Michael Risk's breakout session as well to see just how bad climate change could get. Or Hiba Hussein's alternatively, and you can tell her about the resources, all the things that you learned in this presentation today. Now, the fundamental question when it comes to this presentation is why? Why would I visit a website when I want to act? Seems contradictory because climate action conversation here locally in GrayBruce is quickly going from why to how. And we have John Anderson and Liz Zetlin to thank, and Marilyn to thank for engaging at a grassroots level, at least, a lot of people in this area into the climate and carbon conversations. John is correct when he mentioned that GrayBruce lagged once ago, but now we are more engaged. And we've seen a lot of climate action teams or CATs spring up around Gray and Bruce counties. So here's the how. It's a screenshot of our website. It's graybruceclimateaction.ca. Each button at the bottom, there's 3 buttons. It's pretty simple. Each button has a purpose. Each button fits a need or an ambition of the website user, whether they came here from typing in the URL or a link, more likely a link from social media. This initiative takes place thanks to the hard work from Brockton Environmental Advisory Committee, who hosted an environmental group meeting where they got 28 groups, both grassroots and public and private institutions together in a basement in Walkerton on October 22nd of last year. It's been a year now. And not only did we collaborate with and introduce ourselves to Liz Zetlin and all the new climate action teams, but this meeting also included representatives from public health, the conservation authorities, and both counties, Bruce County and Gray County, where we saw HIPAA launch the Gray County Climate Action Plan. This initiative is also a continuation of GrayBruce Sustainability's efforts to link up groups in GrayBruce, which is our mandate. And we've done so in the past with the Sustainability Asset Map. Some of you may or may not be familiar with that. But our website brings you right off the bat to 3 clear buttons. Like I said, this is the who of who will be using our web resource. And it's designed to simply capitalize on a whole bunch of different people who could be doing more and who could be, who want to do more. So for the events button, that is designed for the people who have modest or low motivation to act. Maybe they've just seen a documentary or dipping their toe in climate action, like I say. The listings of events, of climate action events around Gray and Bruce cannot be understated that it drives a lot of the traffic to our website. And that is a great thing, not just for analytics of our website, but more importantly, it drives a lot of people from diverse groups, a wide group, maybe outside of echo chambers of climate, maybe outside of environmentalism groups in general, municipal groups in general. Events bring all comers. So when you have an events listing that's relative and fairly urgent, events come and go, it's a great way to bring people into the site. But the crux of why we're here are the groups. Now, these are, this button is designed for the people who want to volunteer, maybe they want to make a difference But the real potential here to find out more about the groups and what they were doing, the green groups around GrayBruce and what they're doing for climate, the potential here is for people to use this resource to speak with their wallet. And this tool combines a lot of different industries, green building, local food, food security, climate action groups, all into one place. And you'll see that more in a minute. The final button is designed for people who have high engagement in climate action. They want to network, they want to advance climate action, they want to cross-pollinate their ideas of all their projects, and they want to seek out some experts. Now, you may remember this gentleman from on the green couch from Liz and John's documentary Resilience, locally made here in GrayBruce. This is Tom Rand, and in the movie he said, it's the kind of economic transformation where no sector and no profession goes untouched. And he's talking about a new kind of economy, a green economy. Well, this holds true in our local context in GrayBruce as well. So climate action is more than just activism. This is the list of groups. This is a screenshot of what you see when you click on the groups tab. And it's a listing of 400 groups in GrayBruce that are doing a heck of a job advocating for climate in everything they do, or are specifically formed to engage in climate action. And I'll show you what this looks like in real time here. And we'll dial it up here. Here we are on the internet. Now, of course, we've got all these alphabetical listings but you're not to scroll here. We've got a search bar. The search bar is not your usual search bar to find the information you're looking for. A usual search bar, in my experience, is you type in something and it thinks about it, and then it gives you a bunch of hits on the website of what it thinks you're trying to get to, and half of them, if not most of them, are irrelevant. Whenever you see a search bar on a website, I avoid it. But this is not your search bar, or your typical search bar. This one here just narrows the list of 400 directly when you start typing in. So here we are, I'll type in water, and all of a sudden, well, to see, because I've just seen a documentary on water protection and indigenous rights to water sovereignty on water, or something to that effect. And my list becomes 50. There's Bagaduat Alliance right at the top, and their contact information. For you to learn more about water. And your list of 400 becomes 30, and they're all relevant. Another example is if you've just seen a documentary on soil health, regenerative agriculture. So soil here, there's 5. Your list is now, instead of 400, it's 5 of soil. Advocacy groups or ecological farmers. Another example is climate action. And as soon as before you even finish typing it in, the list just narrows. Here are your climate action groups, municipally based groups, or municipal groups, or municipal working groups, as you can see. These are the 10 to 12 climate action groups in GrayBruce that Marilyn Struthers was pointing out in the earlier presentation. And my personal favorite, if you just type in any sort of, this is what I'm talking about with the shopping local and speaking with your wallet. So an example of maple syrup, or local beer, or bison is my favorite. Bison, here's a good example. There's 3 bison, immediately narrows in this list of green groups, because these are groups where you can eat local. Maybe it's a farm gate, or they're at farmers markets. But here's a good example. The 3rd one here is not a complete listing, and this is why we need your help. We need engagement, community engagement in this online resource tool. And we'll get to that next. So the events tab is, like I said, how we drive a lot of the traffic. And it looks like this. It's got the same search bar that narrows. It's also got a sort by date, so you can sort of use it as an event planner. Most importantly, we'd like you all to submit your events, because without your help submitting events, it's the resource as it stands now is less than sustainable. It requires a lot of outbound communication. And if you know about an event or you're hosting an event, it doesn't have to be yours. If you just want to let us know and give a heads up about it, your green button there, submit your event. The third button, like I said, is collaboration. Now this isn't actually an online chat room. So again, if you remember, this is for people that want to take it a step further in network and advance climate action. Maybe they're part of 1 or 2 or 3 climate action groups already, or they just want to work on projects and enhance collaboration efforts in GrayBruce. This is for you. And you can see that you can not only have a chat in the chat room, but you can chat about specific topics so that you're notified on your phone about something if it's a certain keyword that you're specializing in or you care about, and more importantly, not notified on your phone for all the general chit chat. You can tailor those settings, but I won't get into it too much. I'll just let you know that you can also share files either publicly or in private circles on this chat function, the chat room. It's hosted by an app called Keybase, so you can stick it on your device. You can also stick it on your laptop. And it's a great way to connect and support local environmentalists. There's 65 people at last count here in the GrayBruce team we call Work Together. And there's also 4 or 5 groups that are using it for internal communications and internal file sharings. A couple of life hacks for you. I would put these shortcuts because they're so relevant right now. If you're savvy with your web browser on your left, you can see you can set them up as little bookmarks in your bookmark bar, one for the events, one for the groups. So they're at a click of a button. Or on your mobile phone, I have a little, you can add them to your home screen, just like any browser shortcut. And that way, if you're out in the go and you're trying to remember which bison organization, which bison farmer is nearby, you can just hit the button once. Making it as easy as possible is important. Make it relevant. So what are we hoping to do with this? This has the potential for so much good in local climate action that we're hoping to expand it to phase 2, and we're waiting for some funding to do that. And we hope to determine what's the best collaboration tool, whether it be Keybase or another app. We're also keeping it made in GrayBruce with your input, if you're watching in this conference or if you're watching at a post-conference video recording. We'd like your input and how to make this site even better. This is GrayBruce Sustainability Network's outreach project in conjunction, shared with all the climate action teams. So we're also getting input from climate action teams themselves. We're hoping to integrate broadcasting of all the CAT activities and meetings, broadcasting of home energy or off-grid home tours, a lot of our sustainability network workshops. So we've got a new, like I said, GrayBruce Sustainability Network has a new workshop series on sustainable living hosted by Vitold Kreutzer, and all of those in future in phase 2, we'd like to put them on and push them out to our networks. And of course, we'd like to follow the 211 Ontario model and hire some support staff to do some outbound outreach to get people to maintain their own listings. Start thinking about the Q&A, and we'll get to some questions in a minute. But before we do, this is how you can help. This resource is here, it's functional. You can, on a scale of from fun to serious climate action, we could use your help sharing it, of course, listing your events. Events are fun and engaging. In the chat room, you're contributing. If you want to maintain your listing, that's probably the most valuable thing for us at GBSusNet, is just to have you double check your information, make sure it's accurate. If you'd like to sponsor it, we have information on that. And again, today or in the future, let us know how you think it could improve. If you do sponsor it, in fact, these are where your sponsor mentions will go. They'll go in as a box on the home page and as a highlighted listing within the events. Or you can just share it with your friends. Either way, it helps us out. So this is your challenge. Discover it, tailor it to your needs with the little shortcuts, like I said. Use it as a phone directory or an event planner for your activism. Lend your voice and expertise in the climate action chat room. that is probably the most fun and the most rewarding part, is connecting with people north, south, east, and west in GrayBruce. And there's nothing worse than working on a goal, a project with a goal and objective, and realizing that there's something concurrently going on elsewhere. The biggest upside of this chat room is just to cross-pollinate on these projects. Maintain it with your groups up to date of information and promote it. So for those of you that missed the first part of the conversation because of lunch hour, why are we doing this? It's because the climate action conversation in GrayBruce is quickly going from why to how. I'd like to thank Ken Dow, who designed the website, Barry Randall, Liz Zetlin, of course, Ivan Chan, and the two that put on the impetus for this, the Regional Environment Group meeting, Beth Hamilton and Bruce Davidson, Brockton, EAC, and GB Susnet. So I'll take some time to answer any questions. And there's a question about municipal action. What are we doing about municipalities, municipal government? So I would say that there's opportunities for municipal officials to get involved in the conversation by joining the chat room. One great thing about the chat room is that it is open to the public, and you can either have an account with your name or an anonymous account. And that's quite handy for government officials who would be worried about the optics of participating in a conversation that may or not be their constituents, so more region-wide than just their own municipality. They may want to just be part of that conversation, but avoid any conflict of interest. And that's an opportunity for councillors to engage right firsthand with climate activists, but also advocates of like environmentalism in general, and experts that we have in GrayBruce. But otherwise, GrayBruce Sustainability Network itself, we don't, we support all the climate action teams around GrayBruce that would be the vessels for, that would be working with municipal governments. So we encourage and support all these grassroots initiatives. And when these grassroots initiatives and ideas come from the bottom up in a municipality, so from constituents up to municipal councillors, it has so much more meaning and relevancy, and there's a more duty we would see to act as opposed to our organization. But we do our best to spread the word and be a vessel for climate action and a vessel for sustainability in this region. So thanks for that question. And if there's no other questions, we can conclude. Yeah, we just want to thank the Public Health GrayBruce for putting on this conference. And remember, you can collaborate with us easily just by maintaining and improving your group listing, or submitting events, or sponsoring the website itself. You can pop over to Hiba Hussein's climate plan discussion in the other breakout room of this conference, since we've wrapped up early. And you can tell her, and she might be in the Q&A part of her breakout room as well. So you could share some of the information that you heard here, of course. It's another great way to get talking with municipal and regional jurisdictions. Thank you very much.